Good morning. I'm William Dorset. This is Good Morning Antigua, Barbuda for this lovely Monday, the 26th of March. Hope that you're having a good day so far, and we hope that what we bring here to you can encourage you and get you motivated to have a wonderful and productive day. With us this morning, we've got Evangelist Wayne Turner. He's here coming out of the Los Angeles, California area, and he's a part of a ministry church called Smyrna Pentecostal Church. We'll get to hear his involvement in that ministry and what he's been doing to impact and change lives in persons around the world and, of course, this nation of Antigua and Barbuda. Good morning, Wayne Turner.
How are you?
Good to have you here. Well, just give us a little background on where you're coming from, and then we'll get into some of your experiences.
Well, I'm a member of a Smyrna Pentecostal Church in Los Angeles. I oversee my own nonprofit. It's Becoming Kingdom Ready. It's an end-time evangelistic outreach ministries. It's a gang and drug intervention ministry based in Los Angeles in the inner city, primarily targeting youth ages from 10 until 25 years old.
Okay, so that is something that you, of course, have started and have been doing. You said you're active in your church, our local church, under your pastor. Your name of your pastor?
William Rodriguez, pastor,
Okay.
Assemblies of God. It's Assemblies of God Church. Pastor William Rodriguez. I've been involved with him with a little over a year now.
Okay. Now, you have had a extreme, dramatic background and past and history that you can share with persons. Just give us a little idea as to where you've been coming from, a part of the gang, lifestyle. Tell us exactly your story.
Well, actually, I got involved in gangs in a very early age. I was introduced to gang lifestyle at the age of 10. I come from a Christian home. Actually, my mother was backslidden about 37 years when I was growing up, so I didn't have any adult supervision.
Okay.
Which led me to go and join a gang, and that life took me in and out of jail, prison. I've been shot, almost died, but I continued to pursue that life. I lived that life for a long time. I hurt a lot of people, which we don't know, but God always has a plan for someone's life, and I believe that God allowed me to experience these things to bring me to this point in my life where I'm able to reach out and help those people that are going through that same type of
I can definitely agree to that, and some association, not in terms of gang, but allowing you to go through circumstances that you can then have that personal experience and testimony to be able to share with them the goodness of God in terms of the transformation He's made in your life. So you're now on a positive path, if I can say, doing what you can to encourage others who have maybe gone down similar road that you've gone down, to be able to break that trend and turn things around for the positive. Your mission in Antigua, exactly what you're going to be doing?
I have a extensive schedule. I was invited here by Inter-Caribbean Evangelism Ministries under the leadership of Prophetess Francine Anson. So far, I've already been into Clairview Mental Institution. I've done some street preaching here.
Okay.
But I will be going into some churches. There's a radio show scheduled for me this afternoon. I've also spoke in Apostle Milton Gordon's church. But there's just there's a lineup.
Okay. Now, in terms of really affecting or having impact to where really the issues are, as you would have gone on the radio and gone, that would be more public, and you're here this morning to share with us. But in terms of right where the gangs are getting underground, as I would say, have you been able to experience any of that? What would you say is the level of our gangs in Antigua? Is it as harsh and as hardcore as back home in Los Angeles? Tell us exactly. Or a gang is a gang no matter what.
Well, just one of the marks of gang presence is graffiti, and since I've been here, I haven't seen much graffiti. Graffiti is used by gang members to mark their territory, and if you really want, there is no comparison to the gangs here and in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is the gang capital of the world. There's over 18,000 gangs in Los Angeles with an estimated number of members, and the total of those gangs about maybe 500,000 members. Gangs violence is on the rise in Los Angeles. There is actually no recorded statistics of gang deaths since the year 2002, I believe it is. Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of your experience, we know you have lived a life, so that alone is enough experience for you to be able to share. But in terms of your certification and training, are you a counselor, a drug counselor, a gang prevention specialist? Tell us exactly some of your training.
I'm a certified state of California certified substance abuse counselor through the Association of Christian Drug and Alcohol Counselors. I'm also a certified drug prevention specialist, and that is through a foundation of Drug Free World in conjunction with Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I'm also a gang intervention specialist, and yes, I'm certified. And
okay. Now, in terms of the approach, if I can get into some of all the training and certification that you've gone through, where do we start? We get into the inner city, we get to where the gangs are, and we want to mingle with the guys to see how we can affect change in the positive for them. What would be your first words of conversation to them?
Well, you know, since I come from the lifestyle, it's easy for me to fit in.
Okay.
It's easy for me to detect the gang member. There's certain ways, certain, you know, mannerisms that gang members project. And so I really don't have a hard time conjuring up a conversation with gang members, because you know I still have the body movement and
still got a little bit of the swag.
Yeah, you know, so it's kind of easy for me to get in there. And coming from Los Angeles in that type of lifestyle, you know, when I was back in that type of lifestyle, you meet a lot of people. So I would say that because of my involvement in the gang life, when I was in gang life, there are people that know me from different areas. So when I walk in a place, I can just say, well, I know this person and that person, and then I'd have easy access to, or, you know, there wouldn't be any hostility. Conversation is usually open, you know.
Okay, good. And how would you, as you know, those guys, as I said, would try to be as tough as they can, but sometimes they're very weak on the inside. Because of insecurities, they join the gang to get security and to get that measure of covering. How do you get them to, I would call it, break down to make that transition?
Well, you know, I believe that the number one reason that people do join gangs, and I can just say this from experiences, it's the broken home. It's the neglect of love in the house that children, what they do, either there's domestic violence going on in the home, or else there's drug addiction going on in the home. And the kids of those homes, they see their mothers being beaten or neglected, and they turn to the gang as a sense of security, as you say. They join the gang. So when they see someone like myself, and I'm not the only one, but there's a lot of other gang members and ex-members and ministers out there, but when they see how God has transformed lives, they basically are looking for someone to listen to them. You know, that's the first step into getting someone to change their life, is if you just listen to them. You know, they've always, you know, gang members, their whole problem is that they want to be accepted, and so they do certain things to obtain this acceptance. But when you show authentic care and love to someone, I think that has a great impact in the lives of people.
Okay, we're just about getting ready to transfer to our news in about a minute or so. But just to, from what you've been saying, it sounds like we have got to make sure we start at the right place in terms of trying to avoid or prevent or to change the circumstance of the gangs becoming larger. Parents and guardians, that's where we probably need to deal with. Letting the parents understand that it's their sole responsibility to raise up the children and train them up right, so that they would not have the need to want to feel secure somewhere else, but they can feel secure, comfortable, loved, and controlled and cared for within the home. The importance of parenting.
Well, you know, society has their way of going about things, but you and I know that Jesus is the only answer for it. And when you make people, or you come into a home and you begin to minister to the parents of this, you want to let them know that regardless of the condition of their children at that time, if they, faithfully through prayer and believing God for their kids, there is a way out, so.
Okay, good. Well, we are glad to know that you're here. We hope that your time in Antigua, when do you leave?
I'll be leaving April the 11th.
So you'll be here for a little while.
Yes,
to
yes.
really impart your knowledge and wisdom and expertise into our communities to make a positive change
Yes.
for them. Thank you for coming in. Visiting from Los Angeles, California, a part of the Smyrna Pentecostal Church, Evangelist Wayne Turner, who's been an ex-gang member and now are on a positive path to transforming and changing lives who would have been in similar circumstances that he would have experienced. It's now time for us to join Azara Lavier. She's at our news desk with our news in details for this Monday morning. Good morning, Azara.
Good morning, William. Now for the news in detail.